today's episode, I will be talking about House of the Dragon, Season 2, Episode 7, the penultimate episode of Season 2. So let's jump right in. Don't have a name for this episode, I've looked, so maybe someone can correct me in the comments, but here we go. Do something, man! People are questioning you! Shut up. Shut up. Okay, yep, do that. Sure, guys. Stupid and dumb. Just an idiot. Get your shit together, son. Fuck it. I loved it. Welcome to the dub cast. This week, once again doing the podcast a little bit late, so I've had the chance to get the feelings of the public. It seems like there's mixed reviews on this one. Some people liked it, some people think it's too slow. I thought it was a good episode. Thought maybe we could be doing a little bit more during the penultimate episode. Obviously they're setting up for this big finale next week, but I'm not sure. I think there could have been a little more action here. Obviously there's some very intense scenes, some very cool scenes, but I don't know. I feel like we've been kind of prodding along for the last 4 weeks. One storyline, especially if you know who I'm talking about. But regardless, let's jump into this episode. So, last episode we left off with Rhaenyra departing on her dragon to head to Adam and Sea Smoke. We pick up in this episode right back away with their interaction. So Adam introduces himself to Rhaenyra, and he's like, I bend the knee for you. I'm part of you. I'm of like a shipwright, of a common person, but he doesn't mention Corlys. He doesn't mention that Corlys is his father. I wonder why that is. I don't know if Corlys is trying to keep everything a secret about his bastard kids. I know it's very frowned upon to have bastard kids, but also not really that much. It seems like kind of an accepted practice. So I don't know if Adam just wants to make a name for himself, doesn't want to be attached to Corlys, or he just didn't find the time appropriate. I bet that Rhaenyra will find out at some point. So once Rhaenyra figures out that there's nothing really suspect about Adam, they go back to Dragonstone, where she will teach him how to basically ride a dragon. And yeah, they are going to need a lot of courses for that after this episode. So moving on, back in Team Greenland, we have Larys trying to guess who is riding Sea Smoke. There's been a rumor passed down that someone is riding Sea Smoke, and Ironrod is the man who tells him, and we see Larry's kind of inner workings of how he would analyze a whisper and all the different things that he would do. He ultimately advises Ironrod not to tell the whisper to everyone else. Ironrod tells that little story of like my mom's cousins, brothers, sisters, uncles, dog sitters, like friend saw him riding, so he's like, yeah, you probably just shouldn't say that. So interesting move from Larry's. He's got a little scheme going on. We'll talk about that in a little bit, but he's definitely has some sort of objective in mind, and I wonder if this whisper had anything to do with that, what his thoughts were relating the whisper to what he wants to see happen on the throne and also just in the world. So maybe he doesn't want this dragon to be true. It was interesting to see him try and guess who it could be. He threw out the name Rhaena, but yeah, Rhaena is not successful with her first two dragons. That seems to be known by everyone, including Larry's. So they really have no idea. So I think this is going to be a big surprise for Team Green when they find out who's riding all these dragons. I'm sure they'll get word even starting next episode. But so yeah, moving on from Larry's, we have back in Team Black. It's Mysaria and Rhaenyra talking, and she says to Rhaenyra is kind of taking her son's side. Maybe we shouldn't do this. I fucked up with the guy who just got burned alive last episode. I'm not sure, but if Adam can do it, like maybe we should do it. And Mysaria is like, you should really do it. You should start recruiting the common folk, figure out how to get these dragons to get riders. And she says, well then, let us raise an army of bastards. So there you go, Battle of the Bastards part -1, because this happened before the first Battle of the Bastards, but we got bastards coming in to ride the dragons. So, speaking of Team Black and Bastards, we have Adam and Corlys. I thought this would be a more bigger conversation. Corlys just comes in and is like, hey, your mother was... I didn't know your mother's origins, so I don't think it's from me, but you obviously are able to ride this dragon. He just says, well done. I think they need to connect a little bit further. I think Corlys needs to be more affirming and be a better father figure to Adam. He seems to be kind of distant, especially with Adam, but Adam seems to take this pretty well. He likes this interaction, so keep it moving, I guess. I don't know. Adam seemed pretty pleased by this acknowledgement, so it's nice to get some acknowledgement every once in a while. So good for Adam and Corlys. Keep doing that. Build this relationship with your son and other son as well. But I don't know, interesting dynamic playing out between Adam and Corlys. So now to the Riverlands, and this is the story that the storyline that I was talking about that's taken too long. I think that they've been here since episode 3 or 4. We're on episode 7, and nothing has happened. So Grover Tully died last episode, and Oscar, the kid, is taking over. So they kind of have this meeting of all the lords in the Riverlands, and Daemon is just doing way too much here. He's forcing people around. They don't like his brutality. It's just like Oscar's trying to be the middleman between the River Lords, who are appalled by all of Daemon's acts and the acts that he told to do Lord Bracken, I think. But yeah, it's not good. And Daemon at the beginning is doing too much, but eventually he will come to his senses. So Oscar decides to seize Lord Bracken because of all the terrible things he's done, and Daemon ends up striking him down. He agrees that something needs to be done. So good for Daemon for finally realizing that the error of his ways and that they did way too much bad stuff to them. So this isn't gonna work. Daemon, bro, like, get a grip, man. We need you out on the battlefields, and maybe we don't though, because you want to like take the throne. So once Daemon finally does the right thing, he gets more demons back to the middle of the freaking castle or whatever, and there's Viserys. I think this is like the second or third time we've seen the ghost of Viserys. This version, he's all ghastly and about to die. He's, I think, on his deathbed, and yeah, this is a nice interaction once again between the brothers. Not much to say, really. Yeah. Back to Team Green. Aegon trying to work on his recovery. He's in terrible shape. Trying to walk with the maester. Seems like it's not really going to work for now, but considering that this episode probably took place over the span of like 4 days, that's fine. Get better day by day. Well, I guess they need to move him along pretty fast to try and get him back in there because, well, I don't know who's been better, but between Aemond and Aegon, I don't know. It's up for debate. Who do you guys think was a better king, Aegon or Aemond so far? Aemond seems more harsh and more, well, they're both kind of cut from the same cloth. At least Aegon was like coachable, where Aemon's just, well, I don't know why I keep saying Aemond. Aemond was more like, I'm going to do my own thing and that's going to be that. So, yeah. Speaking of pushing it along, Larys comes in, having experience with an injury, and he's pushing for Aegon to recover quickly. He tells the maester, like, we need to be doing, like, double days, like, bro, like, let's get this moving. So obviously Larys is done with Aemond after their spat over being hand of the king, and Larys thinks that he'll have an in with Aegon to become his hand, and I think that too. I think Kristen Cole is not long for this world. Once again, I've not read any of the books, so none of this is spoilers, but I think Kristen Cole will die next episode. That's my prediction. And I think Larys could be a potential hand for Aegon if they were to have that situation entail. I'm trying to remember who the hand is for. I don't think they have a hand for Aemon yet. I think we're still waiting on Mr. Hightower to answer. But so yeah, Aegon recovering. That ear is mostly gone. Gross scene. Feel for Aegon, even though he's a piece of shit. Aemon blew him up. I said Aemon again. Aemond blew him up. Brother on brother crime, man. Now he's gonna live the rest of his life crippled like Larry's in poor shape. So fuck you, Aemon, for that. But Aegon, you're a piece of shit anyway. So back on Team Black, we have Alyn, and him and Corlys have a nice conversation. So Corlys informs him that Adam is riding the dragon, and he says that makes sense. Adam was always yearning for signs of worth, while I always felt right in my Salton Sea. So new theory, I think Alyn is going to be the heir to Driftmark and everything that Corlys has, while Adam is the dragon rider. So they have the nice little dynamic there of the bastards. I think, as Bela said in a couple episodes ago, that she's a dragon rider, and Rhaena, I'm assuming, will capture the dragon in the wild. So I think Alin lines up nicely to be the heir of Driftmark. Laenor is gone, supposedly dead to everyone, and potentially maybe dead and off screen because his dragon became restless. So I think Alin's lining up nicely to be the heir of Driftmark. But it was cool to see him, Alin, getting slowly more respect and respect. Corlys tasked him with a mission this episode, which we'll talk about in a second. So Alin slowly getting more trust and trust, more to do. Love to see it. So Salt and Sea gang still strong. So back in Team Black headquarters now, we have Jace decides to be a moody teenager. He doesn't like this idea of the quote-unquote lowborn going after dragons. He storms off all pissy, and then he brings up how Harwin Strong is his dad. He thinks Rhaenyra is trying to take his dragon away because by the low folk being able to ride dragons, that means that everyone can ride a dragon. That means they're going to take his away, which you already bonded to your dragon. Like, even I know how this works, bro. You're not going to lose your dragon. Chill out a bit. But he's all freaking out. I don't know. Jace is just crying out like 16-year-old in this scene and this whole season, man. He's got to get his shit together because we're about to head to war, buddy, and you can't be all pissed off about everything your mom does. Like, this is war, man, and she's the queen, so respect it. And her plan does work for now, so how about that? Yeah. So Jace, no more moody shit. Keep it moving. So the plan is to have this handsmaid in King's Landing, who's been putting in work, by the way, MVP of Team Black, I think, so far. She just spread rumors, and it gets out in like half a second. So she's going to tell everyone that there is basically a dragon convention at Dragonstone for the common folk, people who think they're bastards of Targaryens, come and try and ride the dragon. So let's go. I'm for it, and the word gets out quickly, starting with our boy Ulf. He's in the pub, in the tavern, and I called this a couple weeks ago. Everyone who probably knows this show has called this a couple weeks ago, and this is what I'll say about the House of the Dragon. This storyline and storytelling has been very predictable this season. Like, you can just telegraph exactly what's going to happen. Like, Rhaenyra's going to get that wild dragon. We knew Ulf was going to ride the dragon. Hugh was a bit of a surprise, because I think I might have missed a line about him being a Targaryen somehow, but like, and the weeks before this, but like, everything's very predictable in how it's going to happen. Besides like episode 4, when we had that awesome Rhaena scene, not Rhaena, Rhaenys scene. Everything's been kind of like cut and dry, and I don't like it. I watched Game of Thrones like years after it came out, and I was surprised at every toss and turn. Like, I didn't see things coming that happened, even like being somewhat spoiled on the show. This, I don't even have to read the books. I know exactly what's gonna happen. It's like, damn, let's spice it up a little bit, get a little intrigue in there. I guess they just figure everyone knows what happens in the books, which is true because I see you guys on Twitter spoiling shit every week about the books. But damn, bro, like, let's get a good storyline here. Let's do some intrigue. Let's throw a pump fake, But, so Ulf, let's go, bro. I don't know why I like Ulf. I may come to regret that soon, but I don't know. He gave off good vibes in the first time we saw him in the pub, but now he's being all hesitant. I was like, bro, this is what you've been saying. You've been spewing rumors. You got to back it up. You got to go. He does end up going. And then our common folk guy, Hugh, which I thought Hugh was just a regular common folk guy. I didn't think there was anything special to him. I guess I'm both pleasantly surprised and disappointed that he's now a Targaryen. I like the idea of following around a common folk, like family, for a season or two, and like seeing what's up with them. What do they get up to, and how does the life for them, like just being a common person in the realm, not like one of these piece of shit blacks or greens that just run the planet. Like, how does that work? But no, we won't get to see that. He's a Targaryen. So his mom was a Targaryen. She ran off to work in a pleasure house. And side note, their daughter died. Hugh's daughter died. Very sad. It was sad to watch this family struggle for food and struggle for everything so far. And we learned that the daughter has passed away. So RIP to Hugh's daughter. So another storyline happening this episode is the Alicent side quest. She goes off into the woods basically with a Kingsguard, and she ends up just floating in the lake. Honestly, that seemed like a nice time, decent time to reflect. Just Not a thought in the world. She's in this white dress, which I don't know if you want to go swimming in a dress, but you do you, boo. Um, Good for her. She's been cast out by her own son and Queen Regent, but she has nothing to do. And this is a good time to just reflect on everything. I thought maybe she was gonna go try and find her dad, but no go on that. I don't know what her next schemes and plans are. It seems like she's kind of understanding where Rhaenyra is coming from. Um, Maybe she'll try and reach out to Rhaenyra and they can rehash everything before all hell breaks loose. But I don't know. Alicent's side quest, kind of irrelevant, but you know what? I'm here for it because I think Alicent is the most complicated and interesting character on Team Green, and I'll say that. So disagree with me if you want. I'm never mad when we see Alicent on the screen. So back on Team Black, the common folk, people who believe that they are Targaryen bastards, finally make their way to the dragon pit, and Rhaenyra gives them a nice little speech. And after her speech, the dragon trainers or the Valyrians or whatever just decide to quit. No 2 weeks notice or anything. They're not going to work for Rhaenyra anymore because of the lowborns and no tradition. I respect it. They have a code. A man got to have a code, as a famous TV character once said. So I guess good for the dragon riders or dragon trainers, whatever you call them. They're out of there. They're not helping. But also double respect for Rhaenyra because she does the dragon shit by herself. She gets Vermithor to come up and find his rider. So respect for Rhaenyra for just doing this all by herself. She speaks a little Valyrian, gets the dragon up. She's like, all right, after that, it's up to y'all. You got to figure this shit out. So, of course, Vermithor does not like the first person that just goes up on the thing. Shocker. Obviously, it was going to be Ulf and Hugh. So, the first guy just gets murdered, and then Vermithor just starts spewing fire. Rhaenyra is just standing there, cool shot with her eyes, seeing the fire and everything. Just watching people die that she brought here. I think like at least 10 people die. And so Hugh is down in the trenches with a girl. He tells her to be quiet, like, we got to try and survive this. Comes down to it, like, he saves the girl by like pushing her to the side and saying like, I'll handle this dragon. And of course, as we learned last episode, you need to have no fear to conquer a dragon. So Hugh is now Vermithor's rider because he showed no fear. Vermithor's like, you know what? You're a Targaryen. I fuck with that. I fuck with the no fear. Let's go riding. The chanting music was awesome in this episode. I think the music's been really awesome this season. I'm assuming it's Ramin Djawadi or whatever his name is. He's been awesome. Recommend his music to listen to some Game of Thrones tracks. So, side note there, love the chanting music. Now, Ulf is gets knocked down to like a lower level somehow, and he's like on the bottom of the pit, and he stumbles upon Silverwing and steps into her egg, or into its egg. I'm not sure Silverwing's gender. Excuse me, sorry, but I'm surprised Silverwing wasn't pissed off that he just probably killed one of their offsprings. But they fuck with it. Silverwing's got good vibes, just goofing with Ulf. Basically, Ulf's like, just take me now. No fear in a different way, and he gets to ride. So there we go. Both our riders, Ulf and Hugh. Who could have guessed? The only two common folk that we knew end up riding the dragons. And then Ulf takes a nice joyride on Silverwing. Respect. People said this was dumb, but what is he gonna do? Like, especially it seems like your first ride, you got to just ride it for as long as it wants to go. I mean, that's how you like tame it and shit. So he's going to end up over King's Landing. Aemon's like, what the fuck is that? Gets on Vhagar, pursues to Dragonstone, and then he sees the 3 dragons on top of Dragonstone, turns around. Fuck you, Aemon, piece of shit. Don't want to fuck with the gang. Get your ass out of here. Team Black, we dragoned up. I'm looking at this thing, man. I was talking to this to one of my friends. Team Black, we got like 7 dragons. I know Rhaena's bringing that big dragon over from Pentos and shit. Team Green has 3 dragons. They're calling in freaking Helena to come and ride next episode. Like, you're down 10-3, man. The Starks, 14,000 troops. I'm assuming Daemon's gonna figure this shit out with the Riverlands. How does Team Black blow this? This is like a 3-1 lead, bro. This is simple. Execute. Tyronn Lue, bro. 3-1. LeBron. Rhaenyra's LeBron, and but this is like blowing a 3. Like, not she's they're Curry and Kerr. I'm capping. This is like a 3-1 lead, bro. how do you blow this? How? Um, this is like a Daenerys level, like blowing it, except like not even because like you're not like no one's insane. I mean, I guess they're all pieces of shit. We know that, but yeah, this seems like a very heavily advantaged Team Black, and I'm interested to see how the tides end up turning and what transpires into the like how this is even going to keep going from here. So finale looks intense as fuck. Next episode looks awesome. As I mentioned before, my girl Helena might have to run to battle. Eamon's asking her to come through. My predictions for next episode: I think Kristen Cole is dead. I think one or more dragons dies, and another main character dies. That's it. I'll leave it. I don't know. I don't read the book, so I'm sure I'm missing something I should know happens next episode, but I don't. So whatever. So as always, I'll give my favorite and least favorite character of the episode. So favorite, only one choice for me here, Rhaenyra. Really the only logical choice for me. She withstood people dying and just emerged with 3 new riders. The shots with her and all the dragons were awesome. She's a really good leader in this episode. Gives a good speech. I guess Hugh could be another option, but I think Rhaenyra, got to go with Queen Rhaenyra. That's the GOAT. Least favorite, tough one to choose a least favorite. I feel like I've been saying that a lot lately, but Daemon, quit fucking around in fucking Riverlands, bro. It's been the whole season. At least you've finally realized that you got to be more respectful and actually accomplish something, and accept Rhaenyra as queen, bro. Like, quit the shit with you're trying to take the crown and everything. No. Didn't like Daemon this episode as usual. This season, he's been on a fucking NPC side quest. So that'll wrap up episode 7. Just didn't have a lot of talking points for this one. I thought it was a decent episode. Would like to see a little more action just because we've been kind of in a rut here, but I do, as I always say, I do like the political and world building. Just didn't think there was a lot of that this episode. What did you guys think of the episode? Did you like it? Did you hate it? What'd you think? Are you excited for next week's finale? I'm very excited for this finale. After House of the Dragon puts us right into football season, Sunday is always going to be lit. So, yeah. I'll leave that here. Podcast coming up in the near future. Got Succession Season 2, Episode 1 through 5 coming out Wednesday. Friday or Saturday, we'll have a movie review, either Lock, Stock, and Two Barrels or Deadpool and Wolverine, if I go see it and take notes and have a good enough review for it. If not, well, I'm going to try and do a review for it. So probably Deadpool and Wolverine on Saturday and Sunday, and then next week will be Lock, Stock, Barrel, and Two Smoking Barrels review. Other than that, I'm trying to stay tuned on Succession. I'm putting in work on that, so should have that moving along quickly. Should have House of the Dragon finale for you guys next week as well. Movies will keep coming, and then it's NFL season, so need to figure out what we're doing for NFL on the Dubcast and other sports happening, college football maybe. So as always, appreciate you leaving likes, leaving dislikes, leaving comments, leaving views. YouTube's been doing it awesome lately, so if you like what you see, subscribe. If not, subscribe. So I'll leave you with that, and yeah, be easy.